All right, welcome to video 3 on credit cards. Starting on page 173, I've changed the wording a little bit in this question so that it makes a little bit more sense. So assume that a credit card has an APR of 22.99% and a minimum payment of 3% of the balance each month. The carryover balance is $3,000, meaning that's not what we charged this month, that's what's coming over. So the carryover balance is $3,000 and there are no other fees or charges made during the month. So compute the finance charge. Okay, so we know that the APR is 22.99%. That's an annual, so we need monthly. Divide it by 12. That'll give us our monthly rate, and then let's multiply by our $3,000 because that is our balance. And we come up with a finance charge of $57.48. So to find our new balance, well, we would take the $3,000 that we carried over, add our finance charge, and that would give us $3,057.48. Now, if we made any additional purchases, it would be added on to that, right? Because the finance charge is only applied to the carryover balance. And now we can find our minimum payment. And our minimum payment is 3% of the new balance. So, 3% of, so 0.03 of means to multiply, so $3,057.48. And we come up, again, we're talking money, so we round to the nearest penny. Our minimum payment is $91.72. Great. Now in letter D, it asks, how much does the minimum payment reduce the balance? Well, if we had, right, our new balance is this, and we subtract our minimum payment, we come up with $2,965.76. That doesn't answer the question. The question says, how much does the minimum payment reduce the balance? So we're talking about the beginning balance, I would assume. Because if you just think about the ending balance, well, it reduces it by $91.72. So when you think about the fact that you started with $3,000 and you ended with $2,965.76, it really only went down by $34.24. So you paid almost $92, but your balance only went down by $34 because the rest all went to the finance charge. So this is where credit card companies make their money, because people pay the minimum payment thinking, oh, that's fine, I'll get there eventually, but most of your money is going to the credit card company for loaning you the money, and you are barely reducing your balance. So on letter E, which is simply what is the beginning balance of the next month, that is your $2,965.76. So just not good at all. So we are now going to complete the table at the bottom of page 173. Oh, and you can see my answer here, not good. That's question 2, where it says, what can you conclude so far about only making the minimum payment each month? It's not good. That's my answer. All right, so in this table, we've already kind of done month 1 because that's what we did above. So remember, finance charge, we took 0.2299 divided by 12 and multiplied by the 3,000, and we got $57.48. That should be a 7 in the middle there. Sorry about that. $57.48. Our new balance was $3,057.48, which gave us our minimum payment of $91.72. So I would like you to hit pause, go ahead and fill out the rest of this table, and then come back and check, make sure your answers are right. It's kind of nice with a couple of those numbers in there so you can see if you're on the right track. But remember to go from new balance to the beginning balance, the next one. So we take the new minus the minimum payment. Right, and that brings you to new. And so in the first line, if you take $3,057.48 minus $91.72, that gives you the beginning balance of $2,965.76. To find the finance charge, again, we take the 0.2299 divided by 12, but instead, for this number here, instead of multiplying by 3,000, we multiply by our new beginning balance of $2,965.76. Okay, so the process every month is the same. You're just dealing with new numbers. So if you're not sure where those numbers came from, let me know, and I can try to give you a little bit more explanation on where those came from. So let's turn the page to 174. All right, I hope that I asked you to work on these questions yourself before you looked at the answers. And if I didn't, hit pause now and work on these questions, and then come back and check your answers. Or if you get stuck, come back and find the answers. So in part A, total of minimum payments. Well, my minimum payments were $91.72, $90.68, and $89.64 for a total of $272.04. So in the first 3 months, you spent $272.04 making payments on your card. What about the total finance charges? How much did you pay there? So $57.48 plus $56.82 plus $56.17. You paid a total of $170.47 in finance charges. That didn't even go to what you actually spent, right? That's just to the credit card company. So in part C, how much was your starting balance actually decreased? Well, you started with $3,000, and at the end, after 3 months of payments, you were at $2,898.43. So when you subtract those, you've got a $101.57. So look at A compared to C. You paid $272, and your balance only went down by $101. Isn't that depressing? You spent so much money, and you saw so little response. It's really kind of sad. Now, when you look at A, B, and C, so the answer for A, just so we have a look here, is 272.04. B was 170.47, and then C was 101.57. So you can see, just using A, B, and C, that A equals B plus C, meaning the total amount that you spent for your minimum payments is the same as your finance charges plus the reduction in your balance, which would make sense because everything that doesn't go to pay the finance charge goes to pay down your balance, which is what those go to. So it's just important that you see how it all relates. And in part E, now this, I want to go back to Unit 1 on proportions because remember it says what percent? Well, percent is always out of 100. Hopefully you remember that. What percent of your payments? Remember when we said back in the day that percent over 100 equals is over of. So of goes on the bottom. Of your payments. Well, your payments were $272.04. Right, it's the total, right? We also talked about part to whole. And your payments is the total, everything that you paid. So went to finance charges. So we want the top to be the finance charges, which was 170.47. So when you think about this, what percent, there's your X over 100 here. Then on the right-hand fraction, what you paid to finance charges is part of what you paid total. So that's why we put finance charges over the total. Now, if you cross multiply, and I know that we can solve this like animals, so when you cross multiply, we end up with an answer of 62.66%. So almost 63% of what you're paying is going to the credit card company. It's not going to pay down your balance. It's just going to the company for letting you have a credit card. Aren't they so nice? So this is where you can really get into trouble, is that you're paying all this money to try to pay off your credit card, but it's not going to pay off your credit card. It's going to the company. So you need to be very aware of minimum payments and finance charges and how those things all relate together. All right, I think it's important for page 174. We're going to discuss this in class, but if you're not in class, it would be very good for you to kind of go through these and just think about number 5, A through D, and the different parts of having a credit card and the good and the bad of it. Because it can be very good. It gives you some time to pay, but if you're not responsible and you don't pay it off at the end of the month, it can really get you into trouble. So that is the end of video number 3. Thank you and enjoy.